there's a forest. In the northern part of the country, where locals follow a rule so old, no one remembers who started it. If you hear knocking, you don't knock back. Not on trees, not on doors, not even by accident. Because in that forest is the knocking how it learns you are there. This story was shared anonymously by someone who didn't believe in rules like that. He does now. The following account is based on a first-hand experience shared online and later corroborated by locals in the area. Names and locations have been removed. What you're about to hear contains no graphic content, but it may change the way you hear sounds in the woods. He grew up near the forest, not deep in it, but close enough that the trees always felt like they were watching the town. As a kid, he remembered hearing adults talk about the rules of the forest, not laws, not warnings, just things you don't do. One of them was always repeated the same way. If you hear knocking, don't answer. No explanation, no story attached. Just that sentence. As an adult, he assumed it was superstition. Hunters tapping trees, kids being silly, or simply branches knocking together. The usual. So when he decided to camp alone one weekend to film, hike, and disconnect, that rule didn't even cross his mind. First night was quiet. Too quiet. No wind. No insects. Just the crackle of a dying fire and his own breathing. That's when he heard it. Knock, knock, knock. Not loud, not distant. Quite close, frankly. 3 slow taps spaced evenly, coming from somewhere behind the trees. He froze, then he laughed. Probably a branch, eh? He said out loud. Because silence feels heavier when you don't break it. He grabbed his flashlight. No movement, no animals. 10 minutes had passed, and again, knock, knock, knock. Same rhythm, same spacing. That's when he remembered the rule. The rule wasn't don't investigate. It was don't respond. Knocking back, according to locals, wasn't communication. It was permission. He stood there, flashlight shaking slightly, when a thought crossed his mind. What if it's someone lost? That's how it gets you, by the way, not with fear, with responsibility, against his better judgment. He raised his knuckles and knocked once on the tree beside him. Just once. The forest went completely silent. No echo, no return sound. Relief washed over him. Until the knocking came back. Knock, 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 knock. 4 knocks this time, from all directions. The thing in that forest, whatever that might be, doesn't speak. It doesn't need to. It listens. Locals believe it learns patterns, sounds, behavior, rhythm. After that single knock, the sound started following him, not chasing, tracking. Every time he moved, the knocking adjusted. Always behind him, always just out of sight. Then something worse happened. The knocking stopped, and he started hearing breathing. Not animal breathing, human breathing, matched perfectly to his own. Panicking, he remembered another piece of forest folklore, one rarely shared. If you've already responded, there's only one way to leave safely. You walk, not run, not hide. You walk in a straight line, and you don't acknowledge sound again. He packed his gear and started walking. The knocking resumed, but now it was different. It was too close and too fast. Then it started knocking out of rhythm, testing him, trying to make him answer. He ended up walking for hours. When dawn came, the forest sounds slowly returned. Birds, wind. The knocking never came back. He made it home, told himself it was stress, imagination, until the first night in his apartment. Knock, knock, knock. This time from inside the wall, same rhythm as the last time in the forest. He never answered. He never went near the woods again. But sometimes, when it's quiet, he hears someone practicing the sound. Because the forest doesn't forget who invited it. If you've ever heard something in the woods you couldn't explain, you're not alone. And if you want more true paranormal forest stories like this, let us know in the comments.